where I generally, so my laptop and all, I am in a work room basically. So the moment the COVID started, we decided this room will be for work. Okay. So when I'm up, in fact, when you said to, watch out the room, right? I moved my chair to one of the corner to see the entire thing. Then I realized the corner that I am in is getting a very good breeze, which I never sat till now in this room. And I structured the room such a way that I never look at this corner at all. I never experienced sitting at this corner. Maybe I'll show. Let me show. One second. So if you see this corner, right, you're able to. This corner is generally kind of there is a door and there is a window here, right? So this was never a place for us to, put a table or something to work here because door cannot be opened and all that things. So I never realized that this gets a very good breeze. Only when I came here now, I found out that there is a room where I was working for last 2 years. I never realized there is a better place to sit and work. Just because there was a pattern in my mind where a table cannot fit here, or I could have simply picked the laptop and sat in this corner and worked for hours. Doesn't matter, right? It was so peaceful. This was one thing I noticed. And the other thing is when I looked at the other places in the room, there are walls with some cracks. The moment the moment I see the crack, I immediately try to avoid it and see somewhere else. Instead of, there is some kind of predetermined conceiving in the mind that it is not right or it is not good, rather than looking at it at all. Or if there is a small patch in the wall, my eyes were moving away from it automatically without even trying to really observe what it is or anything like that. So there are many such areas in the room where I am not really keenly observing. That is what I have understood.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share?
I am actually. Can I go, Bhavan?
Yes, sure, please.
So I was just observing outside my window where is my garden, which is my garden basically, and my trees and plants and stuff. And again, because I live on a farm, I see all this all the time, but I just realized that I see, but I don't see the details. Like when I was living in the city, if I saw a setup like this, I would really stop and sit and just look in the details because you hardly see it and it's so beautiful. But now it's always there. So I think I had stopped somewhere really seeing and enjoying the details of it. So just staring at these plants in front of me, I saw so many new things which I had not noticed before. And so sometimes you stop seeing or noticing stuff as well. That's what I experienced just now.
True. Yeah, here when I was sitting, so it is entire the whole open patch, and initially when I thought of cordoning my view, and then somehow out of all this greenery, I started observing 3 tires in front of me. So yeah, unlike otherwise I would have observed that plants and something, but it was surprising for me that I kept all the plants aside, and I just observed 3 tires. So that was surprising thing for me, and I observed so many things in tires. Yes. Yeah, anybody else would like to share
For me, as I was looking at the corner, I began to observe imperfections in the paint, some patches, and I immediately went into, oh, I never observed it before. I need to do something about it. So I kind of caught myself going into the doing. And I observed so much of it, and I'm like, well, I had to stop myself and go back into observing rather than going into action.
I can relate to Bindu. I was observing my entertainment center. वहाँ पे कितना धूल जमा हुआ है. अरे यार कितने दिन से मैंने I haven't. It's not that I haven't seen or I don't know, but the thoughts that were going on while observing was not only the lines and the color, even the धूल कितना है.
And mine got stuck there in dhool. I could not see anything else but dhool.
Did you observe the lines and patterns
Lines
of dhool?
and yes, that
of
pattern
dhool.
I could. Off dhool nahi, off there. What I could observe the lines and patterns which I hadn't, and the difference of the handles. There is a difference between matte finish and shiny finish. That difference I could observe. But yes, that dhool made a big difference for me.
See, Rekha, it's like what I was observing, right? Like I don't see the flowers details anymore, but if a stranger came to my house, they would notice all those nice details of the plant. Same way, when they come to a house, strangers notice the dhool patterns more than we know. Eyes become blind to it.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, sure.
I was just observing.
Sakila?
Yeah, I was just observing a corner here. So it had, so one side of the corner had a pinkish shade and other side had, different color. So, and when I was looking on that, so what kind of feeling does it bring in me? Meditative or neutral? So I was thinking from that perspective. And around that corner, so the same color looks different. I mean, because the lighting is not directly falling there, so it's a bit dark, but the other side it is like bright. And what kind of things can be kept there, so that was the thought I had. What all I can do there? Maybe some small drawings. Those are the thoughts which came into my mind.
Yes, sorry, I got disconnected. Yeah, Bhaval. So my observation as soon as I started, the first thought, there is spider waves and all those. Then I stopped myself, okay, saying, only seeing nothing going into dimensions. I stopped and then I realized there are shapes, there are patterns, even the painting on the wall, it has a different brush strokes that I observed there. Okay, there are different strokes on the wall itself while painting the person has used. And there are colors, there are patterns. Those things came in observation, only seeing. So that's my observation. But to come to that, to observe shapes, first thing like stopping own self to come with the okay, there are spiders need to clean and there are dust and all this. So that took few minutes to come to observation. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, actually,
Bawal, next time we will, next time we will do this exercise when we are visiting somebody else's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
then we'll do better job actually.
Yeah.
Because the motivation is to criticize. Yeah. Okay. So as Aditi had shared a document on Discord in parenting channel. Um, in that end of that observation thing, there is something nice, like crisp note is written. So I think let us read that 4-5 sentences together. Uh, just a minute, yeah. Yes. Yeah, so about the observation, what is written that, okay, what it is what it is not. So can you guys see my
Yes,
screen?
I can see. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Yeah. So what it is not, that when I was going through, I really liked it because there are so many misconception about observation. Just so that these 3 points which are written, like only reproducing any drawing and good in drawing, uh, like when we copy the thing, that is not reproduction, or that is not observation actually. uh, and talk others thoughts or point of view, reproducing what others have done, uh, that is also not observation. And talk a lot uh, is not observation. So and again, I think the misconception also, I just, it struck me that good drawing means, generally it happens that good drawing means good visual skills. We associate with drawing skill with visual skill, which personally I had it in my mind. So again, that is uh, not is not is observation, right? That is, I would say, it is fine motor skills. uh, Good in drawing or painting means become artists. Doing good in drawing classes means good in visual skills, or maybe different point of view in fantasy or abstract, and fine with small kids, adults needs to be real. Okay. So so again, observation is a facting what we were discussing initial. And you know probably talking in detail is not required when we are observing. uh, what I understand, probably you guys can tell your or share your thought, but what I understand is like, uh, when you are observing something, if I say that, okay, I observed pattern, uh, and that's it, is it? That's what I have understood. Probably you guys can tell your thoughts on that. That talking in detail is not required is a misconception about observation. Uh, yeah. Any thought on what is not, or a misconception? Or else we can go ahead to the next step of visualization.
So one thought is observation is mostly subjective, right? Like let's say in the same room, if there is another person, he would have observed totally a different thing. So if it is subjective, is it really an observation?
Yeah, I would say that what is there as fact is observation. Yeah, and subjective also. That's what my understanding. I don't know, like we can,
Because let's say my wife is in this room, maybe she would have also observed a lot of dust.
Huh.
But I am not observing that dust. So am I really observing then? So I'm not sure.
But
Just putting it across. So a lot of things we'll miss just because we are grown up that way or something, no? So maybe we won't observe a lot of things just because we were grown up that way. So if it is subjective, is it really an observation, or we try not to be subjective so that we can really observe?
What I feel that when we give more time, we go out of that, being subjective. That's what I feel when we give
Oh, okay.
time to ourselves.
Okay. Because
Also,
generally, when it comes to misconceptions, no. So I'm just wondering, like, is it a misconception to think that being subjective? I mean, my own observation, is it right? That kind of misconception generally we'll have, right? Like when we look at kid or something, we'll try to observe him from our own conceptions, right? Which might be a misconception.
yeah, I think in addition to what Bhaval was saying, it makes sense that if you have an different elements of observation. Suppose if you say I'll observe lines, or I'll observe the curves, I'll observe the texture. I'm talking about the visual intelligence elements, not observation in general. So even in that sense, if you also say that today I'm observing in my child what all my child is exhibiting the line, what my child is exhibiting the visual observation. So the whatever then my child is today, I will put a constraint on me that I will not observe the dhool, I will not observe the misbehavior of the child. I will only, today my objective is to observe the visual skills which my child is exhibiting. So okay, so that's the child observation part. But if I come back to the observation, when you say subjective, yeah, it becomes like someone was saying that I got emotionally attached, or I was just feeling that way. Yeah, then I'm going away from visual skills. If I'm only sticking myself to that, how the lines are moving. Suppose I say line as an observation, and then I can today the whole day I will only see the lines. Then I'm working on my visual observation. Okay. And uh, then whether the line is in dhool, or whether the line is in my salad plate, or line is in my cupboard, or line is in my bed, or line is in my car, I'm only seeing the line. So these are uh, uh, some of the things or play which we can do, which we can bring in our environment. That today only line, let's focus on lines only. Let's see what all lines do we have in our play. So yeah, so
Yes,
if we,
Aditi, today. Sorry.
sorry, you're saying, yeah, so you're saying, say.
So maybe today, if we like build up on like observing corner, or usme bhi like what are the vertical things you can see. Maybe then we are adding something to that,
Yeah,
right? More
becoming more,
focused thing.
yeah, becoming more specific. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think when we do that, it will also at some point break that subjectivity, I guess.
Yeah. Then if I have the
Yeah.
constraint that I will only see the straight lines, so dhool maybe you have to only check the straight lines. Or you can say dhool does not have straight lines. Walls have, windows have, cupboards has, my handle has, my finger has, my nose has. Okay. Then I will see, now I'm only seeing the straight lines.
Yeah, and if I add to that okay, maybe today I'll take pictures. So again, I'm adding up to that observation, right? I will take pictures, or I will use my camera and take, I will probably take picture of the same thing from different angles. Probably all the lines I'll take pictures of, or yeah, I'll take pictures from different angles, or I'll take pictures putting my camera aside. So that all, includes in observation, right? That all builds up to my observation. And yes, and when the
Just one point I have in this
visualization
observation.
comes in, probably, okay.
Yeah, so observing one is just visual is one element of visualization. But when Abhilash was talking about how it becomes subjective, for me, I think when on a broader spectrum, observation is very non-judgmental. It's like seeing what it is. Like Aditi mentioned, maybe in a behavior of a child, when we start saying, oh, it is good or is it bad, or my wife would have seen this, or maybe I'm missing out something, I think then it goes into the space of judging. Like when I was looking imperfections at the wall, I think I stopped observing. I started getting into, oh, it's not good. Somebody did something. Oh, I should do. So I think observation is the way to just catch ourselves there and then move into being very non-judgmental. So I think one way to do it is to just observe today only patterns. But even like in behavior, I feel to just expand it beyond visual is to just be like, okay, it is what it is. Like maybe the child is crying and that's it. It's not about the tantrum or it's good or it's bad or it's noisy or it's to stop. None of that comes in. Or somebody else is saying something or I have an opinion about it. To kind of maybe verbalize in our head. That's what I try and do. I kind of verbalize in our head. It's just a fact. It's just there.
Yeah, that's what Abhilash is saying. We can add in our list of misconception that if I'm adding my subjectivity or if my point of view, then it's not an observation. And what Bindu is adding is if I'm also adding my judgment to it, then it's not an observation. So in a way now when now if I go back to what I've been listening so then when we were sharing, we were adding our judgment to our along with our observation. like like when Chitra was saying, so I was also thinking the same, that somebody else will look at it differently, but I'm looking at it differently, kind of thing. And I was also laughing because I'm in the same space, as Chitra was saying, that I don't see. But that's not a visual vocabulary which me and Chitra are talking about in that sense. So the visual vocabulary would be that I'm even if you want to go deeper into the observation, we might even not say this is a flower. We'll say I'm seeing two lines merging together, or making a different pattern and all those kind of thing. Yeah. So I think that can be added in the misconception list that if I'm bringing my judgment along, then it's not an observation, kind of thing.
But I think what you just mentioned, Aditi, deconstructing what we are seeing. I'm just using a word, but like instead of a flower, if you say I'm observing 2 red lines meeting or 6 red lines meeting, or forming a pattern, that is also a different kind of a visual observation skill, isn't it? Which one can use to practice this.
Yes.
So there's a difference between different perspectives and bringing judgment.
Oh yeah,
you can have different perspectives to observing the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's the next part which Bhaval wanted to bring, but I don't know whether we can do it. But we have just started the conversation on it. So, like for example, the same corner. Now I'll observe it from my wife's point of view, or, or the same corner. Now I will look at from a butterfly point of view, or from a plant's point of view. Do they also see the same line, or do they see a bigger line, or do they see a humongous line, kind of a thing? So yeah, so that's where, yeah.
Also,
What do
when
you-
a flower butterfly sees a flower, they are seeing food. And when we are seeing a flower, we are seeing a thing which is pretty.
yeah, yeah,
I
so
think I
so
think
now so now we can also bring, because the butterfly, the size, how will that small size will look at that, for them now the definition of line will change. So if the butterfly is over the bird, flower, his or her view would be different. So we can still bring it to the visual observation perspective, even if the butterfly or bees or somebody else is looking at it. So we are here, still we are talking about the visual observation. Yana, one is the, I think that's where I was saying, let's keep it to the seeing. So when Anjali was asking a different point of view, kind of thing. So like, if you ask me to observe a gulab jamun, I will observe it from a taste perspective. But if I remove that taste perspective, then my visual details will change.
so. One other thing was struck to me just now. So no matter how we observe, we'll always observe subjectively. Either like from the perspective of at any point, whatever we observe, we'll always observe in some form of subjectivity. But I think the beauty is if we are able to recognize that we are being subjective, that itself is beautiful. At least we'll have something opening, right? Instead of closing ourselves to one subjective, that itself is opens a lot of things, I guess.
Yeah, even I think end of the day it is subjective whether we are constricting ourselves to just lines or curves or waves. What waves are we seeing or what lines we are seeing will be, yeah, it will be subjective. That's what even I feel. Yeah, but adding visualization again, seeing the same thing, suppose seeing the same corner from different perspective, or yeah, we can try that out right now also. If you want to do that, for 2-3 more minutes, let us see the same thing, and we can again decide that, okay, do we want to become a butterfly or another person, or maybe the same person, but maybe I can put myself on some height and I see the same thing, or maybe I can put myself somewhere down and I can try to visualize the same thing. If you want to do that exercise right now, so whatever the thing which we had seen, let us try to visualize it. Maybe that my room corner is in desert, or in snowy place, or maybe in somewhere else, or yeah, from height or from uh, Hi, was I audible? Like, I don't know when the connection dropped off.
Yeah, we could get your last instruction to see from a desert if the same corner is in desert already.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so do we want to share or we want some 1 more minute to observe from different perspective or visualize or visualize from different perspective or yeah. Yeah, anybody would like to share the newer experience of visualization?
I can share. So I thought I would stand on a table and look at it the same place. So I tried that. Totally new things started coming up when I same room, same corner, but when I stood at a different position, uh, saw entirely different thing. And while that was happening, when certain distractions come, I was not even able to observe. Like, let's say, my son kept asking me why you are standing on the table. Then I couldn't even observe because a lot of distractions. But yeah, the thing I understood is being at one point and looking at a thing could be totally different. Being at a different point and looking at it, and if few things get added, we may not.
Okay. Yeah, anybody else would like to share?
I was trying to look at more straight lines this time because of the intention. I guess I was able to recognize more straight lines than before.
So, yeah, so I think that is more, adding more details to observation. Like visualization is, as per my understanding, is uh, mm, adding our own visual or visual capacity to it, whatever is there, and but we are visualizing which is not there, and adding our perspective to that, or adding our own visualization or imagination to the physical thing right in front of us.
Yeah, so your prompt that maybe the same place in desert and rain. So I'm seeing a space in front of me which is in sunlight. Right now there's a quite a nice sunlight. So there is a play of shadow and light on that patch. So I imagine, if suppose imagine this patch is inside the room, then there will be no light. So then there will be no play. Then how these black patches which are there right now playing on the wall will be different. Maybe they will be darker. Maybe I will not be able to see the same play of light and dark. Maybe it will be dark and dark uh, play. Yeah.
Hmm. Yes, so for me too, it's like I started seeing in the plant, I started seeing the thorns when I thought of desert. So uh, right now the plant in front of me does not have any, but that was the visualization for me. I don't know, because I think it is a misconception of visualization what I read there, that we don't visualize the things which is the fact, like, but I was doing the same. I could not go beyond that, uh, where I was just seeing that entirely know, uh, what was a sandy surface, and on that thorny plant. Uh, so yeah, I think I was stuck in that reality, and I could not go beyond that when I started visualizing. Yeah, any other experience when we uh, tried to visualize? We visualized silence, is it? The desert is silent. Yeah, maybe we can share on Discord, if not now, if we are thinking, or if we are still visualizing. um, we are reaching, it is about to 11. Do we want to decide, or maybe do we want to gather the thoughts, like what all can be done uh, to be with visualization, or to be with our visual skills, I would say. visual skill, not visualization, just visualization, but so whatever can be visualized. If I think if we can gather the ideas throughout the week, we will have a food to do or thoughts to do, or yeah. I think that was the idea that am I audible?
Yeah. We were able to.
Okay. Yeah. So would we like to collect some ideas which we can put in action throughout the week? Like some of the ideas what Aditi said, that I observe just lines today, or observe just dots today, or maybe take pictures from different angles. Maybe we can put like yes, Advai, we will be patenting in 2 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, take pictures from different angles. Maybe we can select 25 pictures or 50 pictures of the same thing in different angles. Yeah, so something like that. Would you like to put some more into the list? Or maybe we can start. I can start putting some ideas, and all of us keep adding to that list, and we do throughout the week. What say?
Yeah, that's good. So you will be sharing your ideas on Discord. So we'll share ideas on Discord on the parenting channel.
Okay. ठीक है. Yeah, so let's do that. Yeah, any closing lines, Aditi?
Me closing line. No. I started the now you have to
Yes.
tag the person who will do next week with you. That person will give the closing line.
Oh, great. I can see 4 people on my screen, that Chitra, Rekha, you and me. So Rekha or Chitra? I'm giving option now.
Can we get started? Hey, got to join another meeting. We'll catch up later.
Just an announcement. Theater breakout room is open for theater practice while these guys do their own theater in the main room.
Yeah, so Rekha, are you in?
I am volunteering Rekha.
Yeah, ठीक है.
Okay, ठीक है.
So Rekha, closing lines.
Closing lines. दिमाग नहीं चल रहा है. So
that's the closing
let's get
line.
going. ऐसा.
That's
Okay,
the
let's
closing
get
line.
going.
दिमाग नहीं चल रहा है.
दिमाग नहीं चल रहा.
दिमाग
की
let's
आंखें
get
चल रही
going.
है.
दिमाग की lines और colors जगा दो. That's the closing line from Rekha.
हाँ, दिमाग की colors जगा दो. Yes.
चलो, bye.
Okay.
So now Bhaval will
So
mentor
next
Rekha.
week के लिए क्या है?
You choose. Bhaval will mentor you, and now I am out of the space. Tan, tan, tan.
अरे बाप रे बाप.